Rob Bitus here, back with the Newcastle Harley-Davidson presents the Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers, the world's only Harley-Davidson versus Indian road racing series, and we are at Pittsburgh International Raceway. We'll be bringing us race action in 6 exciting classes. We can't wait to get into the action, and boy, were the fans packed to come into the event. The sun, the fans, and the racers have all turned out at the Newcastle Harley-Davidson Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers Round 1. Tom Carson, this series is blowing up and traversing the United States of America.
Yeah, this Harley versus Indian has become quite a series. I mean, when you look out here, I mean, the line to get in was almost 2 miles long. A lot of these people had no idea what they were coming to see. When they got in here, they see 6 separate classes from mild to wild. Very exciting time here at Pittsburgh Raceway.
You know, you talk about how exciting it is at Pittsburgh Raceway, and the Bagger Racing League has a wonderful track. This is a state-of-the-art facility. The asphalt used here is F1 quality. Every single rider in the paddock has already expressed this may be their favorite track. And speaking of the exciting classes, Metzler Tire Pro Stock Bagger, let's head on over to Kristen Banks.
I'm here with Brian Davenport, who's with Metzler Tires. You guys are sponsoring the Pro Stock Bagger class. You did last year as well. How in the world did you guys get on board with the BRL to be a sponsor?
Well, really the way it started was we came out with a performance bagger product in the Cruise Tech just for general everyday purchasing and for the average consumer. And then when Rob was talking about the BRL and what he wanted to do, is like, we got a perfect product for it. That's why we launched the Cruise Tech. So it's been around since about 2018-19. So that's why we did it, because that's more of a stock wheel size and stock tires, so we've got an aggressive product for it, and that's how we got involved.
All right, now you got to tell everyone about this Cruise Tech. Now that you just mentioned it, it's for the guys watching that can come buy it for theirs.
So really, the big difference with the Cruise Tech, everybody's just, standard cruiser tires the same. They're all kind of block built. They're kind of flatter profile, which is fine. Easier turn in. We developed one that's more like a sport touring tire. So it's got a lot more aggressive profile. It's got a dual compound rear. It's just softer all the way around. So even in we have another product called an ME888. Same thing. ME888's a standard cruiser tire. If you're looking for more mileage and more traditional feel, that's what we go with. But we have the Cruise Tech available just for high performance, and it's also why Indian noticed, and now all the Indians are 100% original equipment, all their baggers with Cruise Tech.
That's awesome. You guys will be able to see these tires out in that Pro Stock class today. Hopefully there's a lot of guys out there. There's going to be some good competition. I don't know about you, but I'm excited for some good racing on some baggers.
Looking forward to a great day of racing.
Now let's have a look at the lineup of riders we're going to see in Metzler Pro Stock Bagger.
I'm here with Arnie Wells, our Pro Stock Bagger champion from last year. Now, Arnie, you made a team switch this year. Will you just tell me a little bit about your new team that you're going to be riding for in the 2023 season?
Yeah, so I'm racing for Suburban Motor Harley-Davidson. They've been great. Yeah, just trying to get comfortable on this bike and get as many lap times as I can. So
now, you haven't had too much time on the bike, but you did have a little time. One, it's beautiful. I love the blue and black. It's really cool. Is there much difference than the bike that you were riding last year from Grand Teton?
It's super hard to tell. It's been a few months since I've been on that other, and yeah, and I'm just trying to get comfortable on this bike and a new track. So
would you say that you have felt comfortable out there so far this weekend?
I'm just trying to. Not really. I haven't had that much track time today, and so hope to get more time out on qualifying and knock some time off for sure.
We're here with Gunnar Willett with Team Trask Performance Racing. Now, last year you were on the Pro Stock Bagger for a couple races. This year you made the move to Bagger GP. Can you just tell me a little bit of what went behind that decision on moving you up?
So what went behind that decision was I started getting a lot faster, starting to get used to the bike, and I'm kind of in the middle right now, so they were like gonna bump me. So today we don't know yet if I'm going to be in the Bagger GP or not, or the Pro Stock, so we're gonna see. But I'm hopefully gonna be in both and see how I do in both of them.
So what is that? Are y'all waiting to see qualifying times, or who's going to make the executive decision on that?
So we're waiting for Rob to make that answer because we're looking at the qualifying times and see how I can do with the bigger guys and see where I can be.
All right, now if it's up to Gunnar, are you on the track as much as possible? Are you doing Pro Stock and Bagger GP, or you just want to hold out for one? If it's your decision.
I want to be in Pro Stock and Bagger GP.
I knew he was going to say that. As a racer, you just want to be on the track as much seat time as possible. Now, after Daytona, have you had a lot of seat time since?
Not really. I've been riding back home a little bit, but nothing really. I got a lot of track time in yesterday and a lot in today too, so we'll see how it goes.
All right, this is your first time riding this track, correct?
Yes, it is.
Everyone's talking about how technical it is. There's a lot of blind turns. How are you feeling out there after practice all day yesterday and qualifying this morning?
I feel so much better. I'm starting to get used to the track, starting to figure out where everything goes, where the turns are. I think it's gonna be a good race this weekend.
All right, guys, we have 2 rounds this weekend, round 1 and 2. Y'all be on the lookout for Gunnar, maybe in Pro Stock and Bagger GP, if it's up to him. I'm here with Clay Braun, AKA Youngblood. Now, yesterday, Clay, was not quite your day. You went down twice, but guess what? You got your bagger back. Are you looking forward to taking it out today and racing it?
Yeah, 100%. Yesterday was kind of not a good day for me. But coming all the way from the West Coast, coming to the East Coast, kind of sitting in the car for 2 days gets me a little antsy, and this track is so nice, so I just ran it, sent it, and today's gonna be the same thing, except no crashing and hopefully be on the box.
No crashing today. Now, I don't know if the people are gonna understand, your bike was in pieces yesterday 2 times. How is it today? Do you think is it running the same? Did you have to find parts? Do you have everything? Is it looking good?
Yeah, she's actually running better than she ever did, so pretty excited.
Running better than she ever did. My favorite bike, because it's animal print. Got some cheetah, some zebra. Now, going into practice today, are you gonna maybe sit back a little bit, or are you full throttle like you always are?
No, today I'm more concentrated. I have a game plan, and after the first warm-up, it'll be really good and just be flowing out there, partying on Harleys.
Now, last year you weren't in the bagger class. This is your first year in the bagger class. Are you feeling pretty comfortable going into today?
Yeah, my bagger's actually been set up really good by Josh, RPM Moto from Run That Racing, and she's a boat, dude. She wants to move, she wants to go, so we're really excited.
Do you have any expectations for yourself racing your first Pro Stock class this weekend?
No, other than just clear mind and have fun.
No expectations. We look forward to seeing Clay out there in the Pro Stock Bagger class later today.
Well, the Metzler Pro Stock Bagger class took to the line immediately, and Sam Guerin, the Canadian, right next to the rider from Salt Lake City, Tony Tucker, and Clay Youngblood, 9:51, all streaming down. You see the #1 Arnie Wells a bit in the background right there. The defending champ made the move to the Suburban Harley team this year, and on the #1 bike, he got off the line in a pretty good start. Clay Youngblood, though, Tom, look at the power he puts on. But the turbo from Trask coming up the outside, and that is Gunnar Willett that moves up into the #2 spot.
Yeah, you really could see the top speed of his bike there. I mean, he drafted a little bit going down the straightaway, but he was able to just pull out and go right by.
You know, these guys are all in the draft right now, and you see early in the race, they kind of start to spread out a little bit. And out front, Sam Guerin, the Canadian, he races super bikes up there. He should be pretty familiar with these types of corners, but throwing a bike around 600 pounds, that's got to be a big change for him.
Yeah, he's riding a bike that's double the weight of his sport bike, and I mean, he knows the track. He's got a good feel for how the corners entry and exit on those, but I mean, he's doubled the weight of the bike, so he has to be pretty confident in the tires that he's running out there, how hard to go into the corner and out of the corner, and he wants to get a good drive going down each one of the straightaways so he can build up or get a little bit better space or lead out there.
Now, you're exactly right. He's starting to break away right now. Sam Guerin, the Canadian, comes down with the lead, and the last time we checked in, Clay Braun was really starting to put some pressure on Gunnar Olette. Now, Gunnar comes out of the Trask camp, and Clay Braun comes all the way from California. He and the crew loaded up the motorhome. They made the big drive to Pittsburgh, and they are in this, but walk it out front right now. So Sam Guerin, the Canadian, still out front. Gunnar Olette is starting to put pressure on in the number 2 spot, but look at Clay Youngblood back in 3. He's starting to close up that gap a little bit.
Well, I think he's getting a good feel for the racetrack now, and I mean, the tires are getting warmed up, so he's getting a lot more confidence, and obviously you see going down this front straightaway, he's got a good bit of speed going up into those corners, and I mean, I think you're going to see him being able to move closer to the front as each lap goes by.
Well, the Trask Turbo certainly makes a lot of top end, and Gunnar, all in that tucked in position, is starting to really gather up the Canadian up front, and I'm talking about Sam Guerin. Coming under pressure right now. Gunnar's looking to the inside. I think he's going to try to make a move.
Yeah, I think you're going to see in the next lap or so that, I mean, he's getting closer and closer, and I mean, he's just eyeing up where the best place to maybe stick that bike in there or come drafting down the inside and make the pass stick.
Well, the top 2 are starting to really distance gap on the rest of the field right now. Clay Youngblood back in that number 3 spot. Craig Braymiller's out there. Cody Melton, Emilio Jamirez, Joe Sanderson, Roger Smock, Arnie Wells, the defending champ, and Kevin Chadwick putting in some hard work on that number 66 machine. Tony Tucker, though, from Utah, has been doing a great job, but these 2 riders up front, Tom, it looks like they're sizing themselves up. Nobody wants to show each other an opening so they could get through. I think they want to, and I think if you're looking right now at the Trask bike, he's waiting for that opening so he can pounce.
Yeah, I think he's back just far enough that he can see what's going on out in front of him. And I mean, I think as the race progresses here, you're going to see him get a little bit closer and a little bit closer. And then when the time is right, he's going to make that pass stick.
Well, the top 2 have certainly put a gap on the rest of the field. Back in that number 3 spot right now, putting in solid work is Clay Braun. They call him Youngblood. And I know right now that Arnie Wells on that Suburban Harley is really starting to look at some opportunities to climb back up into this battle. Here they come in and out of that final corner, and now that Turbo seems to have really latched onto the bike. It's road glide on road glide right now.
Yeah, you can really see when they get a good long straightaway, like right now, he's drafting, that Turbo's kicking in, he gets a lot of drive going into the next corner.
Torque and horsepower, and obviously they're forcing some air into it, and there's the pass made. So right now, your new leader that takes over that spot, Gunnar Olette on the Trask Turbo, rider number 86. Dropping back into that number 2 spot is the Canadian rider. Of course, we're talking about Sam Guerin. And the gap that quick, Tom, is really starting to open up. The Turbo from Trask has really found its...
Yeah, I think he's pretty comfortable now. He's felt the racetrack out. He feels good on it. Everything's flowing. I mean, looks really smooth on the motorcycle. It's clicking really well for him, and I mean, he's putting a lot of time between him and second place.
Clay Braun back in that number 3 spot. He rides the 951 machine. Here's the 86 Gunnar Olette.
Yeah, you can see he's just really smooth on the bike. I mean, he's not jerking around. He's leaning, going into the corner. He's executing everything right on the no apexes. I mean, it's just everything's going really good, and he's pulling away.
Obviously, these guys running road race slicks out there, so they know that the tires underneath them, and this is an open tire event, meaning you've got guys out there on Pirellis, on Dunlops, on Bridgestones, on Continentals, on Metzlers. There's something for everybody, and these riders right now are really starting to get comfortable on this racetrack. We know that the asphalt here is literally world class.
Right, Rob, and you can see, I mean, when you're comfortable with your tires and you've been using that brand throughout your career or your testing season, you get really comfortable with how it feels and how much you can lean the bike over and what the tire is capable and not capable of doing. And I mean, you can see he's really confident. I mean, when he's leaning that bike over, I mean, there's not a lot of contact pass between the tire and the pavement, but it's enough that he's comfortable with it. He knows how far he can go. And I mean, look at the result. He's already pulling away by, what, 4 or 5 seconds already over second place.
Absolutely. Now it looks like Clay Youngblood's starting to come up. Now we see the #1 machine had gone a lap down, and Tony Tucker right now, 477 out of Utah. He made the big drive out here. He's got the BST carbon fiber wheels on his bike. He was feeling extra special, and if you follow Tony, he does a great podcast about all the bagger racing that's going on around the country. Here comes Clay Youngblood. He is clawing his way up to the back fender of the Canadian.
Yeah, you can see he's starting to feel more comfortable too. I mean, he's taking a little bit different lines. He's flowing better going in and out of the corners, and the result is he's gaining some positions. And I think you're going to look and maybe see him make a pass to go into second place here shortly.
Well, time's starting to run out here. These riders know that these races go by extra quick. They're 6-7 lap races, and the top speed they're hit right around 140 miles an hour down the front straight. So they're getting big mile per hours on these bikes. And watch him, he's just flicking it back and forth, getting very comfortable up there. But we know that Clay Youngblood is starting to come on the charge right now. We'll keep our eye out for the Californian as he tries to ride into the same picture frame as our Canadian friend out there in the #2 spot, and that is Sam Guerin.
It's like poetry in motion out there. These guys are just leaning left, they're leaning right. Everything is really going very smoothly out there, and you can see the gap is narrowing down right now. So he's got a little bit of time left, but he's got to make something happen here shortly.
Clay Braun is really starting to put some pressure on right now. And it looks like Clay Braun has made the pass. He's got around Sam Guerin. So now Clay Braun is up into the #2 spot. It's going to be interesting to see if he can start to put some pressure and make a run on that Trask Turbo up front of Gunnar Olette.
Yeah, I mean, he's got not a lot of time to make that happen, but he's got good momentum going. And I know I said it before that the momentum is kind of the key to this. And the guy is out front. I mean, you can't make mistakes. Oh, look what's happening.
Tony Tucker, and it looks like Sam Guerin's Road Glide may be having a little bit of mechanicals because Tony Tucker has rounded him up. This is the battle for third place. Utah against Canada. Road Glide on Road Glide. Tony Tucker and Sam Guerin.
Yeah, he caught him really quickly there. I don't know if he missed a shift or something happened, or maybe something is going wrong with the bike, but I mean, he caught up there very quickly, so now the race is on.
Yeah, Tony Tucker's a veteran of this class. He's been in it the last few years, and Clay Youngblood right now certainly has this machine figured out. He had a couple of tip overs in practice. They got that machine dialed right back in, and it looks like it might be working even better now.
Yeah, I think it's working real well. Like I said, he looks flawless out there, very fluid on the bike, and I mean, as time goes on, he's moving forward.
Clay and these guys came out of California. They were some of the pioneers. They were taking Harleys out to the track. It was Tony Salima and riders like him that were doing it. So they have a little bit of a leg up on some of these riders, but the whole entire sport is evolving so quick. A lot of these guys are becoming specialists. Oh, I think right now Arnie Wells is going to come under attack from the front pack. They're going to try to put him a lap down. And here comes that other battle between Tony Tucker and Sam Guerin.
Oh.
And Tony Tucker just goes by him on the outside.
Right by. He knew it was coming. You could see him. He turned his head back, saw he was there, and he didn't even put up a fight. He just let him go right on by.
I've got to think he's been experiencing some mechanicals right now. It's definitely not his way to go. There's a photo right there of Arnie Wells. Arnie, one of the most popular riders with the white flag.
We got the white flag, one laps. So you either got to make it happen now or you're going to be waiting until the next event.
Well, these riders know that this is super time to go. You're picking up points here. and the 86 to Trask Turbo. Nick Trask has got to be going absolutely crazy right now. Inducted into the Sturgis Hall of Fame just a couple of years ago, and here he is. His team is the two-time Bagger GP champ, and right now Gunner is looking to take the points lead in 2023 in Metzler Pro Stock.
Yeah, you can tell the Trask bike, it's a very well put together, and I mean, everything's working really smooth. I mean, he's riding the bike really well, and I mean, he knows he's got to make it around 3/4 more of the racetrack, going to get another win notched under his belt. So the Trask bike, it looks very good out there right now.
About a half a lap to go here. Gunnar Aulett in and out. They call him the Cougar Killer. He's a big game hunter, and they show him right now on the road glide, just tipping it into the corner, up on the brakes, getting that thing spooled up as it grabs all that boost coming out of the corners. They used to talk about turbo lag. Nick Trask has addressed all that 20 years ago. He hasn't figured out that's not an issue any longer.
Now, I mean, that bike works really, really well. He got rid of that. The bike performs flawlessly. Hey, and it looks good out there. It's got a racy paint job on it. It catches your eye. Nick Trask's pretty happy right now.
Sit back and listen to that turbo.
Listen to that thing.
Listen to it wail down the back straight. He'll get up into this final corner. His team makes it down to right along the fence here. And as he gets ready to streak down the front straight for the final time in race number 1 of the BRL 2023 series, checkered flag right now for the winner, Gunnar Aulett. Second place goes to Clay Braun. And look at this drag race. And it's going to be Tony Tucker coming across the line in the number 3 spot.
Yeah, that was close. I mean, I think if that straightaway had been a little longer, you'd have seen a drafting pass right there for the finish.
Well, that's a look at how this one's shaped up. Now we should go down to the podium with Kristen Banks, find out how the winner feels about race number 1.
All right, guys, we're here with your first place finisher in the Metzler Pro Stock, Gunnar Aulett, round 1. Man, you started in the back of the grid and you got out front fast. What was your tactic to this race?
I had to just go for it. I had to go for the front. It couldn't stop, and if I knew I got stuck behind a couple other people, I would have had to really, really work for it and probably wouldn't have the chance to be on this podium right now.
Well, you definitely put in some work coming from the back all the way to the front. Now, what can we expect from Gunnar in round 2 tomorrow?
Hopefully first place again. That's the goal, is to get first, but anything can happen out there, so hopefully we get there again.
Thank you so much, and congratulations to Gunnar Aulett on his first place finish in Metzler Pro Stock.
Well, the action on the podium is certainly intense as the riders talk about what's coming up. But let's not forget how we got here. Newcastle Harley-Davidson gave us the presented by sponsor for this event. And man, is Bill Baumberger a fan of bagger racing.
I'm here with Bill Baumberger with Newcastle HD, who is the presenting sponsor of round 1 and round 2 BRL in Pittsburgh. How excited are you guys to be here presenting this event?
Very excited, thanks.
Now, what expectations do you have for racing today?
So it's a beautiful day. Azra CCS invited us to come as the premier class, and we're here at Pitt Raceway.
That's awesome. Now, will you just tell me a little bit about your dealership and where you guys are located?
So we're just 20 miles north of here, Newcastle Harley-Davidson, Pittsburgh North Region dealer. Been in business for 41 years.
That's awesome.
Used to have a Buell Harley race team. These are some of our race bikes.
Are so cool.
That's why we're still supporting the sport.
Now, what expectations do you have for BRL as the year goes on? Will we see you at any of the other races?
You'll actually, because I now have my VIP lanyard, you'll see me at every event. I'll be in Milwaukee for the 120th anniversary, which is only an hour from Blackhawk Farms. That's when the next doubleheader is. And then, of course, it wraps up at Willow Springs in November. And as an old, we used to race Willow Springs years ago, so I'll definitely be there for that. And I think, I believe this is the year for BRL to really take off.
It's definitely the year. We're excited. Will we see you on a bike at any point?
You will not, except leading the fan parade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That'll be exciting.
I'll either take one of our Pan Americas or one of our road glides, and
awesome.
I've been tasked with that.
That's awesome. We look forward to it, and we'll see you guys the rest of the year.
Yeah, thank you much.
Bill Baumberger's a great guy, and the crowd certainly having a great afternoon. We're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, more action at the Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers from Pittsburgh International Raceway. Well, the Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers is back. Newcastle Harley-Davidson, our presented by sponsor, held our kickoff party. That gave an opportunity for the teams, the race fans, and everybody to come together, get all pumped up and ready to go because they couldn't wait to see the race action. You know how to do it upright at Newcastle Harley-Davidson. They had a little something there for everybody, and everybody was getting pumped up. Now, speaking of pumped up, the ATU class and the gang from Zippers. Let's hear from Dan Fitzmaurice.
I'm Dan Fitzmaurice, Zippers Performance Products, Elk Ridge, Maryland. Proud to be out here to support the BRL League. And we're sure having a good time this weekend, rain and all, but it's been a good event.
The ATU class will run what you brung. Joe Sanderson, Craig Braymiller hanging out down there. They're on baggers. We're going to have some guys on the FTRs, a couple on Pan Americans. Roger Smock is bagger ride, and Josh Baird's got to be a feature as he's riding the Lloyd's Garage Indian.
We're here with Josh Baird, Team Lloyd's Garage. Now, Josh, you're racing two classes out there today, FS Cup, ATU. Last year, you raced both of them, and you were no stranger to the podium. How are you feeling going into the 2023 season?
2023 right now, we're feeling pretty good. We've been working real hard on the off season to get our bikes a lot stronger, a lot faster. Made some really good progress with the team and everything there, so I'm feeling pretty good going into 2023.
Since Daytona, have you had much seat time on this bike?
Yeah, probably too much, thanks to my wife for that, but I've had plenty of seat time, and it's been helping me tremendously, learning the bike and setup changes to make and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Now, everyone keeps saying this track's technical, there's a lot of blind turns. Was it your first time riding it yesterday in practice? Yeah,
yesterday's my first time here. Great track. This is a super, super fun track. The only thing that's helping me is I live in the mountains of North Carolina, and these are the same kind of roads, so.
Y'all better watch out.
That's right, practice. I got it.
Because everyone else is a little nervous, but you're not. You're confident.
I'm used to blind turns and runoffs, man. We got this. So.
What are your expectations for yourself out there today?
I just want some solid finishes, you know. I know Benny's fast, Corey's very fast. I just hope we get some good racing, some solid finishes. Podiums always, man. We always want podiums. And a win would be nice. You know?
Well, hopefully we see you later today on the podium. Good luck out there, and y'all be sure to look out for Josh Baird. All right, guys, I'm here with Craig Braymiller with A+ Performance Racing. Now, you just got off the track from your pro stock. Not the best start. You faced a little adversity. Will you just tell us what happened out there?
Yeah, I had to start from pit lane. Make sure you're on time going to the grid. And worked my way up to 6th. Had Steve in my sights, so I was chasing him down, running him down. couldn't get to him.
Now, this is your first of 3 races today.
Yes.
Up next, you got ATU. You'll also be going out with Bagger GP. What do you expect from yourself in that ATU class?
ATU, just stay calm, good, consistent laps. It's not a huge grid. Wish more people would enter that class, but just stay focused, stay calm, and finish strong.
All right, now, you didn't get a nice start in Pro Stock, but you have another Bagger class race with the big dogs, Bagger GP. Is that really for track time, or you want to get out there and be on the podium?
I want to go out there and push. Those guys, they're all fast, but you can learn a lot hanging out behind them, so looking forward to that.
So looking forward to going out there in Bagger GP later, and then we'll see him again in 3 classes tomorrow for round 2.
Well, thanks a lot, Kristen. Zippers Performance ATU, not the biggest class, Tom, but a lot of different bikes. You can see the Baggers have the big torque, but the FTRs from Lloyd's Garage and the Alloy Art Pan American, they kind of broke away quick.
Yeah, they kind of sprinted out of there. You can see the acceleration from those lighter bikes, and it's showing here. Those guys come kind of zipped out to the front, and they're getting away from the rest of these boys.
Well, it is the Zippers Performance ATU, so they definitely did zip out there. Corey Cowan on a Pan American backed by Alloy Art. Robbie Lane was the first individual to field a Pan American in any type of V-twin racing. They did that back at Sonoma. Tony Salima rode the bike. Now he has Corey Cowan, the defending ATU champ, on it, and Josh Baird on the FTR Indian, the Lloyd's Garage ride. Man, this is a tight little package he has back there. You could buy these things. They come with 17-inch wheels, liquid cooling, upside-down forks, oversized rotors, single shocks. They have everything you need. You do a bit of fine-tuning, get them personalized, you have your own race bike.
Yeah, you can see that Harley did their homework on this bike, and I mean, it's a lighter bike. It's got a lot of high horsepower. The engine's pretty bulletproof, and I mean, these guys are going around here at a pretty good clip, and I mean, they're able to get away from the Bagger bikes relatively easy, and the speed that they're getting is pretty comparable to some of the sport bikes out there.
They come out of the box with about 125, 126 horsepower. I mentioned the components that they have. Put it into a different category right away. These are actually adventure bikes, the Pan American, something that you can use to maybe go to Alaska or all the way across the country. Then they have the suspension components that are top shelf. They do a little bit of wheel changing, and we look what Robbie Lane was able to put together from Alloy Art. Corey Cowan, a quick look over his shoulder. I think he's just letting Josh Baird know, I'm going to hold this gap right here on you. Josh Baird, though, talented individual. The gang from Lloyd's Garage really know how to build a race bike, and this machine right here looks like it's on point.
Yeah, I mean, when you see a guy looking back, I mean, he's either really concerned or he's really confident that he's going to stay there. And I mean, if he is a little bit concerned, you can tell he's going to start making a mistake here or there, or maybe overrunning a corner, or maybe not going in it hard enough. And I mean, it just gives the guy behind there a little bit more confidence. And you can see he's actually putting together some really solid, good laps. And I mean, I think he's going to be able to narrow that gap here as we progress through the race.
Well, there's super sprint races right now, and the gang from Lloyd's Garage know that's go time. He's not sitting back waiting for the race to come to him. He's going to put all the pressure on. You see him dragging their knees going around these corners. I have to think that just a few years ago, before this came out, I don't think anybody in the Harley and Indian world thought they'd be dragging knees on these bikes around some of the best road race tracks in the world.
No, I mean, when you thought of a Harley-Davidson years ago, it was a touring bike, and I mean, you saw guys just touring. They had a tour pack on. I mean, they maybe had their wife, girlfriend on the back, and I mean, they were just cruising around the country. And now you come here like today at Pittsburgh Raceway, and you see the BRL putting on this fabulous event, showcasing these same bikes that the average guy can go right down to his dealership, go in and get it. I mean, in this case, put on some different parts, aftermarket parts, and they can come out and race this thing and could probably even ride the thing home at the end of the day.
We talk about the Zipper Performance American Twins class, and this entire race had this kind of feel for it. The Indian was stalking the Harley-Davidson. Corey'd give him a quick look over the shoulder, and you see Josh Baird in that full tuck. Well, we talk about being in the full tuck, but this race is going to be a tough way to go. Look at them wheeling and coming out of the corners. They're putting the power to the ground, and those Bridgestones on the Alloy Art bike are certainly hooking up. Josh Baird has been sitting there the entire race, Tom. I don't know if he's going to have enough left in the tank to run him down, but he's certainly putting in a solid ride on that Lloyd's Garage Indian.
Yeah, he's really consistent. I mean, I don't think he's going to catch him either, but I mean, you never know. I mean, a mistake could happen. He could overshoot a corner. So, I mean, they've got, what, about a half a lap to go before they get to checkered. So anything can go down before the flag drops.
Now you talk about anything going down, and these guys are going to race to that checkers. You can see right now Josh Baird fully locked in, focused. He's not going to blink right now. He knows that anything can happen. We're wrapping this one up. The Zippers Performance American Twins Unlimited race. Certainly something to talk about here. All these FTRs, the Pan Americans, so many of the race fans we were talking to at the kickoff party were interested in this race. They said, tradition, that's the baggers. These are technology-based bikes.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's excited about the Pan American. I mean, because it's the newest motorcycle out from Harley-Davidson. And I mean, look at the progress that they've made racing this machine this early in the game. And I mean, I think you're going to see a lot more coming out of the individual race shops as well as Harley-Davidson making this a better, faster and motorcycle for the track.
Well, Josh Baird certainly closed it up on Corey Cowan. Cowan on the Alloy Yard Pan American runs the #1. Here they come, checkered flag for Corey Cowan. Josh Baird right there in the #2 spot on the Lloyd's Garage Indian. He takes the win. Cowan, Baird, Braymiller, Sanderson, and Smock. Now let's go down to the podium with Kristen Banks. Find out how this one turned out.
I'm here with your Zippers ATU winner, Corey Cowan. It's not your first time on top of the podium today. What's the key to success?
Happiness. You know, I tell people quite often that the absolute most fun you're going to have at a racetrack is standing on the top step of the podium. And I was tired of not standing on the top step of the podium, so I tried to put my head down this today, and we started off a little slow. Our bikes didn't arrive until a day late. So, yeah, things worked out, and I'm thankful that I'm upright, and I'll be able to get on the grid tomorrow.
Congratulations to Corey Cowan. Didn't even practice, but he made it on top of the podium twice today, and he has another chance to do it twice tomorrow in round 2.
The action's been intense. The crowd, Tom, poured out in masses here, and they certainly dig the action they're seeing.
Yeah, they got a great day here at Pittsburgh Raceway for this event here, and I mean, you can see they're all lined up on the fences, and there's a lot of people here.
Nelson right out front, dominating the main event. Is the world champion. This stadium's going nuts. Give it up for Scotty Brothers Riders.
I always looked at him as invincible on the track. He was awesome.
Actually saw his shadow, and I knew it was coming.
Tragic accident that left one of our recent Olympians paralyzed.
Not being able to move anything and realizing, wow, it happened to me.
Well, welcome back. The Newcastle Harley-Davidson presents the Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers. The folks from Icon, Tom, pulled out the booty bikes down in Pittsburgh. They let racers take to the obstacle course on these customized booty bikes.
Yeah, it's kind of neat to have the spectators versus the top guys of the BRL series kind of competing against each other and all for a little beer koozie.
Hey, these guys will do anything for a race, and they had a great time out there. The crew from Icon certainly knows how to have a party when they show up at any of the BRL events. You know, there's so many great sponsors that come out to these things, and let's take a moment right now as we wrap up the Icon Booty Bike race and hear from Larry Mills and some of the other sponsors in the BRL.
Larry Mills, DP Brakes. You're our FS Cup sponsor. Just tell us a little bit about your company.
Well, we do brakes and clutches, and we're been part of this for 3 years now, and we're very excited. I'm personal friends with Rob, so I want to help him out and I want to support him. But DP have been around for over 40 years, making products, brakes and clutches, and we're proud to be a part of this whole event and series. It's growing, as you can see. The crowds are really good, and strong, and I just want it to really work, and so do all the other participating vendors.
Well, we're super excited to have y'all out there today. You have a lot of riders out there.
Yes.
Are there any that we should be on the lookout for?
Well, we help out a lot of the top guys, and not only with brakes but also clutches. So you need the braking power, obviously, because you got these bikes that are going as fast as sport bikes but twice as heavy. So braking's definitely something that you want to have a strong program with, but also clutches too. We do the clutches, the clutch plates, and with all this horsepower, pretty much DP is the only stuff that's really holding up for them. But it's just being part of this program, being an FS Cup sponsor too, is awesome, and we're very proud of it.
Well, we're super excited to have y'all here. Thank you so much, and we look forward to watching your FS Cup later today.
Thank you very much.
Hey guys, we're here with Michael Peterson with Andrews Products, who is sponsoring the Big Twins class today. Can you just tell me how you guys got on board with the BRL and being a sponsor?
Well, I've been longtime friends with Rob and Lon, and when the opportunity came up, the Big Twin class was a natural fit for us. We make Harley parts for the last over 50 years, so we make parts that fit all the way back to Knucklehead, UL80s, all the way through to current bikes. So we figured this would be a perfect opportunity to get out, meet some people, and help support the sport.
Now, can you tell us about one of your products that we may be seeing out there and kind of what it does and how it runs the bike?
Yeah, the M8 cams. This is the Harley cam that's been in the bikes since 2017. This is one of our newer offerings, our 465B. It's a great bolt-in cam. It produces more horsepower and torque than any other bolt-in cam out there. And I'm sure a number of people will be riding and racing this type of cam or one of the other cams we make.
That's awesome. You guys, everyone out there is looking for more torque, right?
Absolutely.
All right, y'all stay tuned, because later today you will see Andrews Products sponsoring the Big Twin class. I'm excited for some racing. I bet you are too. It's gonna be a good class with some fast guys.
Thank you.
We're here with Tim Sutherland from Team Lloyd's Garage. Now, today you got 2 bikes out there and 2 racers. Will you just tell us a little bit about the guys and bikes that are going to be out there today?
Sure, absolutely. So we're running, I think, 3 different classes today. So in the bagger class, we're running our Challenger. Hawk Mazzala is our rider for that one. And Josh Baird will be riding our FTR today. Both Indians. We're out of Charlotte, North Carolina, Lloyd's Garage, and we're excited to be here today.
Now, what does Lloyd's Garage bring to Bagger Racing League?
Well, Lloyd's Garage, we are an independent, so we're not really a factory-supported team. And we, in Daytona, we were the top finishing Indian at Daytona, so we're excited to be racing Indians, and the Bagger Racing League is a great place to show off.
Now, have y'all had any time on the bike since Daytona, testing or anything?
We've not, so nope, not since Daytona. Hawk lives in California, and we're based in Charlotte, so it's been a little tough to get him back and forth on the bike, but we made a lot of changes and done a lot of work on the bike, and Atlanta, we run Atlanta, I'm sorry, we did run Atlanta.
Rode Atlanta?
Yeah, rode Atlanta, so we've been on it once since Daytona.
Now, how were the bikes yesterday? Do you know if your riders were feeling good out there in practice?
Yeah, they love the track up here. It's a beautiful track. They are very excited to get out there. The bikes are performing pretty well, just making a lot of changes, trying to get the gearing right, trying to get the suspension where they want them, and we're excited to get started here.
Newcastle Harley-Davidson Drag Specialties Battle of the Bagger. The group down on the track now is going to be 3 combined classes. We're going to have a really unique group of riders out there. Let's take a moment and meet some of these athletes.
We're here with Corey Cowan, your 2022 ATU champion. How do you feel going into this year, knowing that you won last year?
I feel
Pretty good. I'm excited for the weekend, and Robbie and the guys have done a great job in the off season getting the bike prepped, and I'm just excited to be here. The weather's good. It's a great facility, a great racetrack, and I'm excited to race with Josh and Benny and whoever else might be here this weekend.
Now, you didn't have any time on the track yesterday, but you went out this morning. How were you feeling on your bike?
Yeah, the bike feels great. Racetracks are racetracks. They're, it's a straightaway with some left and right turns, and you go up and down a little bit, and we'll figure it out. So
now, you're the only person that says that. Everyone else is worried about this track because they said there's so many blind turns. Are you not feeling that? You made it just seem very simple.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. So, yeah, there's a lot of like really blind stuff here. I do feel that the guys that were able to ride yesterday have a pretty like big advantage, but there's nothing I can do about it. So we're here today, and today's today, yesterday was yesterday, and we'll see what happens
and
for the
last
rest.
year was last year.
Last year was last year.
But you're coming in this year. Do you have any expectations for round 1 and round 2 for yourself?
My expectation for myself is to get on an airplane tomorrow under my own power and not crash the bike. So other than that, everything else is gravy.
All right, well, good luck out there to Corey Cowan, your ATU champion from 2022.
Hey, Benny Carlson, you're riding the number 45 Pan America Harley-Davidson out of the Suburban Motors Harley-Davidson stable. It's been a long day, but we're finally getting to the first race of the day for me, so I look forward to having a good race, staying on two wheels, and having a lot of fun on this Suburban Motors Harley-Davidson Pan America.
Thanks a lot, Benny. We got a lot of other riders out there in the Icon Lightweight Twins, one of our bigger classes. These guys are all on air-cooled Sportster-based machines.
I'm with Cody Gilmore, racing for Suburban Motors HD in the lightweight twins class. Cody, you're with us last year. You're back again for the 2023 season. How are you feeling this year?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. It's good to be back out here. It's been a little while since I've been on a bike, so just kind of getting the bugs worked out and getting used to going to them high speeds again. It's been since Daytona in October. So it's going good, though. The track's awesome. The bike's running good this weekend, so I'm looking forward to doing some battle with my teammates. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, y'all have 3 guys out there that I think are going to be battling. It's going to be fun to see those orange bikes. Now, speaking of teammates, Benny Carlson has a lot of experience. Yesterday, I saw him kind of walking you through the track yesterday. Can you just tell me a little bit about that and if he helped you out?
Yeah, Benny's been awesome help since I started doing this last year. He's been more than helpful. I wouldn't even be close to as good as I am right now if it wasn't for him. So, yeah, yesterday he just kind of took me out and I followed him around some lines, and then he'd follow me and he'd pass me back and I could follow him. And pretty much my experience in racing is all on the dirt side, so my lines ain't what they need to be out there. I kind of cut in way too much and don't flow the corners as much, so just trying to build habits of going further out and flowing and keeping your momentum up. And it's super tough for me. It's kind of everything against what I'm wanting to do out there. So this first practice out this morning, I was just trying to get them lines down, but still a little bit awkward, but I'm getting better at it. And I know once it all blends in together and I kind of get the flow, it's going to be way faster. So I just have to take the advice from him and run with it, But yeah, he's been awesome. We'll
see if you take the advice later today and run with it. Do you have any expectations for yourself first round this weekend?
Naturally, I want to win, but anything on the podium, as long as we get all these Suburban HDs up on the podium, that's all I really care about. I don't want to go down or anything, trying anything stupid, but obviously you always want to win. So that's what I'm going to go for, but if I can't make it happen and something else happens, as long as the teammates are in front of me, we'll be good.
Well, good luck to Cody Gilmore this weekend with Suburban Motors HD. We're back here with Jake Masters. Jake, how are you feeling? It's finally race day.
I know, I'm feeling good. The weather's good, the track's looking good, the bike's looking good, and I'm feeling good, so.
How was practice yesterday?
It was great. I learned a lot. I started from scratch and I felt like I had a pretty productive day, so.
Now that was your first time ever on a street bike, correct?
Correct.
Now, what did you do in Australia before? What kind of riding experience did you have?
Motocross background.
That's it?
That's it.
What about any kind of Harley riding at all, racing?
Stunt riding Harleys and yeah, racing dirt bikes.
What did you learn the differences between racing street bikes and dirt bikes?
You got to be loose on the road bike and literally lay on the road. If you're doing that on a dirt bike, you're getting hurt.
All right, now you have to have some goals for yourself. What kind of goals have you set out for your first racing experience on the street?
I just want to make the day, staying upright and have a bunch of fun and ride with the boys. It's going to be good. No big expectations, but I'll definitely be going out there and riding hard.
No expectations, but have fun. Y'all stay tuned, and y'all are going to see Jake Masters out there later today in the lightweight twins class, racing for Suburban Harley HD.
Andrew's Big Twin, not our biggest class, but man, are there some excellent riders in this group.
Here with Robert Parker, who's going to be racing in the Big Twin class today. Robert, you had a lot of seat time yesterday out here and then again this morning in qualifying, but you hadn't had your chance to go out and race. Before the race, how are you feeling on your bike?
I'm feeling really good. Every session I've had out there, I've been able to drop a couple seconds, keep finding times to pick up a little bit of pace around the track. It's a fun one. It's an absolute roller coaster, so it's been good so far.
It's a roller coaster. Everyone talks about all the blind turns and how on it you have to be. What expectations do you have for yourself going into this first round?
You know, I'm really hoping to do well this first round. I think I got some seconds in there. I'm hoping to be able to battle it out with Lucas for that #1 position.
Well, congratulations on nothing so far, but hopefully a podium finish later today.
Absolutely. I'd like to thank a couple people too.
Oh yeah, go for it. Let's hear the sponsors.
Thanks to S&S. They came on board last year. They've been absolutely huge in getting this bike together. NAMS for the standalone harness, and Two Boss Performance for getting everything actually put together. These guys have been huge for the race program, and I'm hoping to give them some good results.
Awesome. Y'all stay tuned and look forward to Robert Parker out there in the Big Twin class.
Lucas Jabou, a race with the Rolling Racing and Warrior Built Foundation. We're here at Pittsburgh Raceway with the Bagger Racing League. We're ready to put it on this weekend here on some Harley-Davidsons.
Well, it's a party on a Harley, Tom, and we got a whole shot. Benny Carlson on the Suburban Harley streaks away from the line. So we have technology out there, the FTRs, the Pan Americans, the first group of 3 right here. And look at Corey Cowan already going to work on Benny Carlson out front. And Josh Baird has split the gap right now. Corey Cowan's all the way back to 3rd.
Yeah, this is the most exciting part of the race. When you have this whole group of riders bunched up on the start and everybody's barreling down into that first turn. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts out there, but it's really exciting for the fans.
Second wave of riders is made up of the Big Twins, Dynas, FXRs, Softails, and obviously Indian has their new Chief, a big air-cooled V-twin. Great bike for that. Now behind them, and you can start to see some of the brighter colors coming, and those are the icon riders. Riders like Carson Brown, the newest member of Red Bull, and he chose this event to showcase his new Red Bull sponsorship.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting to see Carson out here and Cody out here. I mean, they're former motocross guys, current motocross guys. I mean, they're putting their skills to a little different aspect of the sport, and I mean, they're going to be great at this because they do very well and have done well in the motocross.
Benny Carlson is starting to pull away on his Pan American, but it looks like Corey Cowan on the Alloy Art Pan American is all over Josh Baird. Has he made the pass? It appears for the moment that Corey Cowan has made the pass up into the #2 spot. Cowan from all the way out in Utah is going to try to make a big run on Wisconsin's Benny Carlson. Benny, a multi-time Supermoto champion, really comfortable on these bigger bikes.
Yeah, he's really comfortable out front, and I mean, he knows what's coming. I mean, you can look, see how close he's pulled up there, and I mean, it's going to be exciting right here because he's going to be able to draft going down this straightaway.
Corey Cowan is tucked into the draft behind Benny Carlson. Josh Baird on the Lloyd's Garage Indian grabs another gear as he picks up one of his braking markers, heading what would be down into turn #1. Benny Carlson loses the lead to Corey Cowan. Cowan now out front.
Yeah, these guys are going to go back and forth. I mean, you can see that they're pretty evenly matched. And, I mean, you know you don't give up the lead that easily. And I think you're going to see Benny make a comeback or make a run at taking that lead back over.
Josh Baird starting to close in as well. This is the DP Brakes FS Cup. Now we have the Icon Lightweight Twin Riders out there, as well as the folks from Andrews, who are out there in the big twin class. Now, they've been putting cams in bikes for decades, so they know how to make power and torque out of these American V-twins.
Yeah, this is a pretty exciting race because you had such a diverse group of motorcycles out there, and it kind of shows the spectator out there like there's a big difference right now already this early in the race from the first group of guys, then there's a middle group of guys, and then there's guys toward the rear, that they're spread out this quickly, the different levels of performance of all these different machines.
Corey Cowan really got comfortable here at Pittsburgh early. Benny Carlson, the Wisconsin rider, on the Suburban Harley-Davidson, back into the number 2 position as they come back out of the tree line. And it looks like Josh Baird on the Lloyd's Garage Indian has latched onto the back of this front duo.
Yeah, he's making a run towards the front, and I mean, he's got to get a little bit closer. But if he can get up in there and get closer to the draft, then it's going to be a three-way battle.
Well, we've got that final corner right here as they set out for another lap, and it's Corey Cowan. And Benny Carlson is starting to look around. He's hunting for that line right now.
He's searching to make that bike go faster, get in and out of those corners quicker.
You know, Tom, you talk about getting in and out of the corners quicker here, and the laps are starting to dwindle here. They're going to be down towards the end of this race. So right now, any strategy they may have, they're going to have to find it all in their racecraft.
Yeah, I mean, this is towards the end of the race, so, I mean, you've got to make it happen. I mean, if you keep trying every single thing and you're not making up any ground, that's when sometimes things start unraveling a little bit. Maybe you're going to see a mistake here or there out of a guy, but you have to try until the checkered flag drops.
You know, you talk about the checkered flag coming out. These riders are hoping for that. They want to make sure they pick up all the points they can. It's a 5-race series in the BRL, 2 at Pittsburgh, 2 at Blackhawk Farms, and they wrap up at Willow Springs out in California. So the series really does.
Look at the mistake, Rob.
Holy
Just
cow.
what I mentioned. I mean, he went into that corner a little bit too hot, and I mean, this was a big feat to get across this grass. I mean, it's slippery in there. To be able to get back on the pavement and continue on down to the race and finish this thing, that was an accomplishment.
Tip of the cap to Josh Baird. Good job out there. And as we wait for the lead pack, and they do come back into view here, you can see it's Corey Cowan still pushing because Benny Carlson is not going to let up. Whoa, and Benny gets off into the toolies there real quick. He looks over the shoulder, and that was that speed.
Yeah, he's trying also. I mean, you could see he was tucked down there. I mean, he wants to get back to the front.
That's going to really help the number 1 of Corey Cowan on the Alloy Art Pan American. Ah, there's the white flag coming out for Benny Carlson and Corey Cowan. So as these riders set out on the final lap, running lap times that would be competitive with a lot of the 600 750s. Look at the torque from that Pan American, just lift the front wheel.
Yeah, I mean, he got to be careful right there because there's a little rise in the track. And I mean, these bikes have so much torque and power, they wheelie right there without even trying.
So Carlson can take another run at Corey Cowan again. I don't know, it's a big gap that he's gonna try to have to make up here as we are very late. This race is winding up, Tom, so he has no time to wait for this one to come to him. And quickly, Cowan looks over his shoulder just to make sure where Benny is.
Yeah, he's checking now. I mean, you see Benny's made some mistakes, but he's recovered really quickly from those mistakes. And I mean, he's putting in a good effort.
Corey Cowan knows any lift of the throttle right now, and Benny Carlson will be right there. Josh Baird runs in the number 3 spot. Out front, it's the Alloy Art bike of Corey Cowan. Second, Benny Carlson on the Suburban Harley-Davidson, backed by the crew at Bridgestone and Sly Fox. And back in third, Lloyd's Garage, Josh Baird. Beautiful picturesque shot as the leaders come back into view. And has Benny Carlson closed up enough to make a last-ditch effort in the final corner?
Yeah, you could see he chose a little bit different line coming down in there. He went a little bit wide in the first corner, but it set him up a little bit better for a straighter shot at the next bend, and I think you can see he's picked up some time.
Now it's going to be a drag race. Can he jump into the draft, or has Corey Cowan broke the draft, and does he beat him to the checkered flag? It is a drag race. And at the checkered flag, the alloy art bike of Corey Cowan edges out the Suburban Harley of Benny Carlson. Josh Baird rounds out the podium in third on the Lloyd's Garage FTR. Great lineup of riders out there. Cowan, Carlson, and Baird in the DP Brakes FS Cup. Let's hear from the winner as we head down to the podium and Kristen Banks.
All right, guys, I'm down here with your DP Brakes FS Cup winner, Corey Cowan. Corey, you look fast out there and you make it look easy. How'd you get that Harley on the top of the podium tonight?
I don't know. Like, these guys, they come every weekend and they put on a great fight. And I know that they were having a little bit of bike trouble, and I wasn't. And I tried to put my head down and just put in some really fast laps and make sure that I could hold whatever advantage I could. And this is where we ended up. So I'm super thankful.
Well, congratulations to Corey Cowan putting that Pan American up top.
The Icon Lightweight Twins was all Sportsters out there and a nice big lineup of riders. Let's go down and hear from Kristen Banks one more time.
I'm down here with your Icon Lightweight Twins winner, Tony Bangma. Tony, this track is technical. It's not your first time on the track. What's the key to success on this thing?
Absolutely just turning a ton of laps here. First day on the bike, but I think it really helps that I've turned so many laps here. It just makes it comfortable on no matter what you're riding.
What can we expect from Tony in round 2 out here tomorrow?
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. You guys stay tuned. Round 2 coming up tomorrow.
One of our smaller, super competitive class was won by Lucas Gaboo. Let's go down to the podium and Kristen Banks find out how Lucas's race turned out.
We're down here with your Andrews Big Twin winner, Lucas Gaboo. Lucas, last year you faced a lot of adversity, a lot of bike problems. You're already up on the top of the step in 2023. How good does that feel?
Oh, it feels amazing. With the problems we had last season, round 1 was awesome. We won round 1 at Utah, and then Milwaukee was it was kind of disastrous for us. So we spent the off season testing and building and testing and building, and here we are. We got a winning package, and we've been racing some of the club races, and we've been doing awesome there. So now we're coming up to the big stage, and we're going to keep it going and hopefully bring home that #1 plate at the end of the season.
Hopefully you keep the momentum going into round 2 tomorrow. Congratulations once again to your Big Twins winner, Lucas Gaboo.
Well, it's all coming up. NAM's Bagger GP, the one everyone's been waiting for, the top, the baddest in the game, and they're all going to be on the line, getting ready to shake down the opening round of 2023 in the Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers. We'll be back after this break.
Trans Performance is a leader in high-performance aftermarket parts for Harley-Davidson motorcycles. World-renowned for industry-first bolt-on turbo systems and cutting-edge motorcycle components, all made right here in the USA. Assault the street and the track with confidence. Performance-minded, performance-driven. Trask.
Rob Bitus and Tom Carson, you bring in the Newcastle Harley-Davidson Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers, round #1 from Pitt Raceway, and this is the NAM's Bagger GP class. Things are getting exciting. We can't wait to see how this one plays out.
I have Jeff Zielinski here with NAM's Custom Cycle Products, who's going to be our Bagger GP sponsor this weekend, maybe for the rest of the year. How did you guys come about that?
Actually, Rob asked us to change from the Big Twin class a couple months ago, and we said we would, whatever we need to do to try to help. We've been a sponsor since it started a couple years ago, so we signed up again for a third year, and we're looking forward to it.
Now, you guys got a nice little setup out here in Pittsburgh. Can you just tell us, maybe feature a couple products that you guys sell?
Sure. I think the biggest one, if you haven't noticed already, a lot of the racers are using our new fuel injection system. It's a harness that we created for the CAN bus bikes, which are 2015 or 2014 and up, which enables them to get rid of the body control module and some of the other features that just cause issues with compatibility on the racetrack. So we partnered up with the guys at Thundermax, good friends of ours, and we put together a kit that eliminates everything. And there's a lot of guys on the track today that are going to be running it. So that's probably our biggest.
That's awesome. Now, Bagger GP, that's like the big deal. The last race, there's some guys out there that, some good competition. Who should the fans be on the lookout for in that class?
I don't like to pick favorites. I don't know. There's a guy with a turbo that seems to be cleaning up, so I'm not going to mention any names, but he's a good friend and he's in the hamsters with me, so I'm going to leave it at that.
All right, you guys, we're not going to say any names. I put him in a bad spot, but you'll stay tuned for that Bagger GP class because it's going to be a good one.
All right, the pig here is set up. We've made a couple of changes since last time it was on the track. Our boys over at Saddlemen set us up with this little pad, which keeps Jesse in the seat, keeps him from sliding forward during the braking process. We've moved some of the levers around a little bit. We've got our BA air cleaner. This is the race version on the bike, and kind of an interesting note is we actually run the breathers on this as standard as you would on your regular street bike. We're not vented to atmosphere. We run it right through the intake manifold as normal. We've got the fueling AR dog ball exhaust system on it. Uncle Alan and the boys have played a little bit with some exhaust testing. But anyways, we're feeling good with the bike and excited to see Jesse out on the track a little bit more so we can become more comfortable with it.
The gang from Fueling certainly know how to do it. They've brought Ben Boston to the races now. It's Grand National Champion Jesse Janis, the flat track legend, throwing his leg over that Fueling road glide. Look at the riders down there, and you know there's some talent in that field.
We're here with Oleg, racing for Team Alloy Art. Now, last year you went to 2 races, but didn't have the best bike luck. Tell us a little bit about last year's experience with the BRL.
Yeah, so last year I was with this new team, and I came in after the first round as they had an injury with their previous rider. And it's a great group of guys that, I think the hardest working in the paddock for sure. And the bike is great. Unfortunately, we haven't had the best luck on our side, and so in Milwaukee we had some fuel spillage issues which caused the bike to almost burn to the ground, but luckily it was okay, and these guys unbelievably got it back out again, and then we had some clutch issues. So just luck has not been on our side, and that sort of followed us to Daytona. And so here we are 2023 hoping to change our luck, turn it around, and I think the first round we're based on the experiences we had last year, we're just trying to start it slow and try to get, we're not aiming to necessarily get on the top step today, but more or less just get on the grid and make sure we finish and then build on that. But I think it's a great group of guys. The bike's great from the little time that I've had on it, and I think once we get all our demons put away, I think we can get it on the box for sure.
Now, speaking of little time you had on it, you actually didn't have your bike in time to practice yesterday, but you just went out for practice today.
Yeah.
How are you feeling so far?
It's a new track for me, but it's a fun track. It's long. There's a lot to learn, a lot of blind turns here, but the bike felt pretty good this morning. I think we got some tuning issues that we need to resolve, but so far feeling good, and I'm just excited to get the day under the way and hopefully get some good qualifying in.
Well, we're excited to see you out there later today in Bagger GP. Oleg with Team Alloy Art. I'm here with Hawk Mazzata riding for Lloyd's Garage. Hawk, you're back again with the BRL. You're on a new bike this year. How are you feeling after practice yesterday?
Feeling all right. You know, we're sort of chasing some setup and just getting used to this bike again. Yet the third bike for me, so we're still sorting things out and going from Dunlop to Bridgestone this weekend for the first time with a new Bridgestone. It's tall, it's way different. So there's just sort of a lot of variables we're trying to figure out, but all good. I mean, the bike's quick, it's solid. For these baggers, like really a big thing is just to run in full session without something breaking or blowing up is big, and these guys have this bike dialed. Like, it just keeps on ticking, so it's good.
Now, you mentioned new variables. Is this a new track to you? Because I'm hearing it's very technical, and most guys haven't ridden it yet. How were you feeling on it yesterday in practice?
Yeah, it's new to me, and it definitely, I learned tracks pretty quick, and this one took a bit more time. It's really, there's a lot of blind turns, not a lot of reference points, and it's a real flowy track, so if you mess up one turn, it sort of hoses you for the rest, and so it's technical, but it's fun, it's beautiful, good surface, a lot of grip, so I mean, it's great.
Now, what expectations do you have for yourself going into round 1 and 2 this weekend in Pittsburgh?
I mean, you always want to win. I always want to win. I'm a racer. But realistically, we came out here mainly for data, for a test. You know, we've got such limited seat time. So we're trying to gain data. And I want to put it on the box. You know, I expect that out of myself. And hopefully we can try some new things in qualifying. We're sort of just throwing stuff at the bike. And if we can find what we want, we can give Shane and these boys a run for their money and battle for a win, really.
Well, good luck today.
Thank
Hopefully
you.
we'll see you later on the podium.
Heck yeah.
I'm here with Shane Narbonne with Trask Performance Racing, your 2-time Bagger GP champion. Do you feel any pressure going into the 2023 season?
Of course. I mean, we always have a target on our back, but I don't get too much pressure on me, so it's better to go out there with no pressure, and this season should be good.
Now, you're an East Coast guy, but you've never ridden on this track. What were your first thoughts on it yesterday?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's surprising I haven't ridden on this track, but at the same time, it's really cool. A lot of the corners are like different tracks that I've ridden, so it wasn't too bad. But of course, it's still learning to do.
Now, I'm pretty sure you're laying down the fastest qualifying time with 1:51. Does that get in your head when you go out there, or does it not really affect you at all?
I mean, a little bit, of course, because I just want to keep going faster and improve. So, we will. So, as for that, it's just a lap time, really. You only have to go so fast to win the race, and that's kind of our plan. But at the same time, we want to go faster. So.
Now, what goals do you have for yourself coming into round 1 and round 2?
Of course, I mean, we want to win. The team's worked hard in the off season to get the bikes ready, and we want to just win that championship again, really, the main focus.
Now, Fueling has a new rider, and I saw on Instagram they're coming after the pig.
Yeah, of course.
Are you scared?
I mean, who doesn't want the pig, you know?
The real question is, where is the pig here?
The pig is here. He hasn't come out yet, though. The race hasn't started.
Okay. The pig is here. For anyone that doesn't know, there's a flying pig that Fueling had, and Shane stole it, or won it, I guess, from Fueling, and he's had it the last 2 years.
Yes.
So he's got a target on his back from Fueling, and they said they're coming to get it back this weekend. Y'all stay tuned and see what happens.
A lot of action and a lot of smack talk down in the paddock as they make their final adjustments. They check the oil for the last time. The tire pressure is so important. There they are on the line. Here they come down into turn 1. It's the NAMS Bagger GP class. We all have somebody on the line, not able to get away. But speaking of getting away, how about Hawk Mazzata on that Indian Challenger out front? Benny Carlson on the Suburban Sly Glide, and Bray Miller, 331. Qualified for the NAMS Bagger GP by doing so well in the Metzler Pro Stock. Looks like his bikes left him on the side of the track. Side of the track right now, Shane Narbonne. He is the 2-time BRL champion. He rides the #1 Trask Turbo. Tommy's in the #2 spot. Benny Carlson now back in 3rd. And look who's coming up behind him. Jesse Janis on the Flying Pig, the Fueling Road Glide.
Yeah, this is oh, look at the pass right there, and it passes back. So these bikes are the ones that everybody came here to watch. And I mean, you can see this is going to be exciting laps to the finish.
Well, the turbo from Trask Turbo with the number 1 on it, he's had that number on the front of that bike for the last 2 seasons. But Hawk Mazada on the Lloyd's Garage Indian Challenger, that is a technologically advanced bike. Single shock in the back, comes with an aluminum swing arm, liquid cooled engine, upside down forks come right out of the factory on it. The bike behind him, the Trask Turbo, to me, is the biggest difference maker on that bike.
Yeah, I mean, they put a lot of work in their Trask bike. I mean, they've had to, because that Indian bike has come with a lot of high-quality parts.
Jesse Janis right now, he's back in the number 4 spot, but it looks like Shane Narbone has made the pass to the front of the pack over Hawk Mazada.
Yeah, you can really see where the draft comes into effect here. I mean, you saw that pass. He was behind a little bit, got behind the other motorcycle, and he's able to go right on by.
And the Slide Glide has pulled up behind as well in that number 3 spot. Benny Carlson trying to jump into the draft, and Jesse Janis. Now, Terry Reimer is the one that called the guys at Fueling and said, you want to look at Janis. Doesn't have a ride in flat track this year after being the champion, and he came out here and adapted to this bike very quickly right now.
Yeah, we talked a little bit earlier about that little hump and that straightaway, and you can see these bikes, they really have to put a lot of effort into keeping that front end down to keep that drive going.
The top 4 in the NAMS Bagger GP class are bunched up right now. This is the way we love to watch this race action, watch their race strategy come in. They'll start to draft. They're going to start to look at some options right now. And if you look, Hawk Mazada is not letting go of the Trask Turbo right now.
Yeah, this is like poetry in motion. You can see them. I mean, they're trying different lines to see if maybe going in a little bit tighter on the inside, but drifting a little bit wider out of the corner is faster, or vice versa, to get a little advantage on the guy in front of you.
Hawk Mazada does riding camps all across his property out in Northern California. He's up near Sonoma Racetrack, but right now he's doing a lot of studying. He's watching what Shane Narbone's doing, and Tom, I think he's looking for an opportunity to kind of sneak maybe back up the inside.
Yeah, you know how it is being a racer. I mean, you get past, all that's on your mind is, I have to make that pass back. And I mean, he's doing everything he can, and just like that, he went out a little bit wider out of that corner to see if maybe that was a little bit faster line. And you're going to see, as this race progresses, different tactics from different guys.
This whole 4-pack up front, you've got the Fueling bike. Now, they're big into cams, they're big into motors. Then you have Sly Fox and Suburban. A lot of carbon fiber, a lot of lightweight components. You have the Lloyd's Garage bike. They are Indian builders. That's what they specialize in. Then out front, you take the Road Glide, you put a Trask Turbo on it. You can buy those from Drag Specialties. They have a 107-inch motor. They're not allowed to put the big 131s with the turbo. That is literally a street bike motor that you would come in your Road Glide or your Street Glide with. You put that turbo under it, and you're jumping up near 200 horsepower.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely the most exciting class. These 4 motorcycles are very evenly matched, and it's all going to come down to the rider.
You know, it's always going to kind of be that the rider plays such a massive part in this. And you can see that all 4 of these riders right now have the kind of experience. Benny, he's not shaken right now by Janis looking to the inside, the right. He's staying in the proper lane. Now, Janis is going to try to draft by him, and he does make the pass on Benny Carlson. So Jesse Janis, 77, now up into the number 3
Yeah, he
spot.
drove it hard in, coming down on the inside, and I mean, he was able to outbrake him a little bit, but he was able to make the pass stick.
Brian Shields right now, and Arnie Wells. Arnie Wells, last year's defending Pro Stock champ, was able to pick up a grid spot, and now he's working on Brian Shields. Brian Shields from Boardman, Ohio, has his own motorcycle shop called Penn Ohio Motorsports. Behind him, Arnie Wells comes all the way from out in the Idaho area. Now, Arnie is very, very comfortable at this race pace. Oh, Janis! Jesse Janis goes off the track. Tom, that was well over 100 miles an hour. And what's the flat tracker do? Rides right back onto the track.
Right back onto the racetrack. And I mean, I've done it, you've done it. What a relief when you get back on the track, and it almost doesn't faze you because you get right back into the mindset, I gotta get back to the front.
He was able to get around Benny Carlson. Carlson picks back up the spot, and the white flag is out now for the Trask Turbo. Right in behind him, though, is still Hawk Mazzata on the Lloyd's Garage. So Trask Turbo, Indian Challenger, back behind him, the Sly Glide. Benny Carlson, Suburban Harley, and Sly Fox Components make up that bike in the number 3 spot.
Yeah, this is exciting. I mean, we got the white flag. We still have 3 motorcycles that are quite evenly matched, and I mean, it's coming down to do not make a mistake on this last lap or you're going to get passed very quickly or easily.
Appears that they're coming out of that final corner, and Mazzata's closed up one more time on Insane Shane Narbonne. Big drag race, and that's where that turbo really comes into its own.
You can really see that turbo. I mean, it excels coming on those longer straightaways.
Well, Hawk Mazzata's had, I've had enough. I'm going to try to get it done before the checkers, and he closes up on Insane Shane Narbonne. He's up on the inside of him. Narbonne shuts the door.
Wow, that's a really good race, and I mean, you see a lot of respect between those guys to keep those motorcycles side by side, but going well over 100 miles an hour.
Well, these guys are going over 150 miles an hour. At Daytona, they were hitting 181 miles an hour. So the top speed that comes out of these, and look as they come back into view. Nams Bagger GP, Jeff Zielinski's got to be going crazy right now. They work towards these corners, and you see that Hawk had to drop back in the line right there. You know he wanted to run it up, but the door was being shut by Shane Narbonne.
Yeah, he drove it in really hard there, but you saw he went out wide, and the Trask bike was able to pull out a little bit of a lead right there.
They get ready to come in and out of the final corner, and here's that long drag race. And here they come, checkered flag. Shane Narbonne second, Hawk Mazzata third is going to be Benny Carlson, and Jesse Janisch on the Fueling Road Glide, the Flying Pig they call it, takes fourth in Nams Bagger GP, the first Bagger GP race of 2023. The crowd certainly enjoyed it, the corner workers as well. Obviously, these riders, they know the etiquette. They circle the track and thank all of the dedicated corner workers and safety people for just how hard they are. More bikes now making their way across the finish line. We see Craig Braymiller off to the left over there, still trying to get that machine lit. Well, the top 7 in that class certainly showed the rest of the world just how fast you can get a bagger around the track. I say we go down to the paddock and hear from Kristen Banks at BRL.
I'm standing here with your first place finisher, 2-time defending champion in the Bagger GP class, Shane Narbonne. Now, Shane, I said it earlier, you're the 2-time champion. You got a target on your back. Do you ever feel that pressure when you go out there and race?
Not really. I've done it for so long, so it's just another race to me. But it was good today. You know, we didn't get the greatest start, but Hawk was leading for a lap or so. But then from there, I figured I'd just take the lead and see if I can pull away. But I guess I was the carrot of the day, so they followed me, and we had a little bit of a problem on the last lap with our bike, but we managed to come across the line first.
Now, Hawk is coming after you with that Indian. He really wants to beat the Harley. Are you scared for tomorrow? What can we expect from Shane Narbonne in round 2?
I mean, you're gonna see why we are the 2-time champion, you know, and the Trask boys are gonna go back to the truck, and we're gonna put this bike together even better. So tomorrow will be an even better day.
Well, congratulations to Shane Narbonne, your first place finisher in the Nams Bagger GP.
Thanks, Kristen. Tom, they're down on the podium holding up their medals. They get big belts as well. And the lineup of bikes that were in the bike show were impressive. The racing on the track, incredible, and it's only stop number 1 of 2023.
Yeah, it's really exciting here today. I mean, all these spectators that came here on their baggers, their Street Glide, Road Glide, Challenger, the Chieftains, all those motorcycles, they're leaving here. Everybody's excited because they're going to think, man, I can have that same motorcycle.
Well, that's it from the BRL. We'll see you at stop number 2 from Pittsburgh.